What's up, y'all? This is Ty, and y'all know what I'm here for because you clicked on it. You saw the title. I'm here to review Down in the Valley where the girls get naked. If you throwing bands, then you know she gonna shake it. What's up, y'all? I'm talking about P Valley, which comes on the Starz network. If you don't know what P Valley is, I suggest you go on over to Starz and check it out. It comes on Sunday nights. It's not that many episodes. You can binge watch it. It is about the life and times of folks who work at a strip club down in the Mississippi called The Pink. And the show is called P Valley, and it's good. So don't be all jealous about strippers. Oh yeah. Stop being judgy and all that stuff, like you ain't a freak on the low and all that. Stop it. Watch the show. The show is good. Stop being judgy. I know you love the Lord and all that. That's great, but don't be judgy. It's a great show. Please don't be judgy. Go watch the show. I'm telling you, I think you will enjoy it. It's good to hear stories from different perspectives and different walks of life. So come on, don't be judgy, y'all. Watch the show. The show is good. So anyway, shout outs to my people. I gotta give a shout out to the people holding me down in the comment section. Miss Natasha, Cynthia, June BLC, Tia Divine, Simply Be Yourself 100, and all the other ones leaving comments down in the comment section. A brother does appreciate it. Come on, leave some more. Let's talk about this show. The show is good. Come on, let's talk about the show. So anyway, let's get right into this. Is episode 6. Now we see, they all fine. So I might be saying this throughout the whole episode, the whole review. Old fine old Mercedes and fine Autumn. They're cool now. They're cool now because Autumn bailed Mercedes out of jail. You know, Mercedes was in jail for beating down her own mother. And now you're like, wow, who beats up their own mother? Let me tell you why she beat her own mother up. Her mother stole her money. She stole her money that she was holding for her so she could open up this gym. You know, she didn't want to twirl on the pole no more. She wanted to teach girls how to dance and all that good stuff. And her mother stole the money so she can open up her own church. So she beat her mother down. Yeah, so she went to jail for that. So in this episode, we see the bond between Mercedes and Autumn because now Mercedes has learned that, you know, Autumn has this little money scheme going, this money exchange scheme, and they have fake IDs and they got different outfits, and they're doing this whole Lucy and Ethel, Thelma and Louise, Cagney and Lacey type partnership. They just out here getting it on, making that money. But we see that Mercedes has to make a stop. She goes over to see her daughter, Terica. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And we are learning more and more about this relationship. So apparently, Terica is a result of an affair. And, you know, Mercedes had an affair with a married man. Apparently, he died. But somehow, his wife has custody of the child, the love child, so to speak. Yeah. So now, that weekend, the weekend that Mercedes beat her mama down and went to jail, that was the weekend she was supposed to be spending quality time with her daughter. But what happened? She was in jail. So Terica's pissed off, and, you know, they're having this really good dialogue, and I love that scene. She's at the tennis practice, and she's talking to her mother, and her mother's like, why you didn't return my call? She's like, listen, every time we're supposed to get together and do something, you always break that promise. So she's pissed off about that. She's like, listen. And she said, well, you know, you need to come back to the dance thing. And her daughter said, I'm not coming back. I didn't want to do that. She said, well, I thought you liked it. She said, I only liked it because I wanted to be around you. And I thought that was a sweet moment. Her daughter wants to be around her, but you messed this up, fighting your own mother and getting locked up. So as they're having that conversation, here comes the stepmother. And she tells the girl, going back, learn those tennis lessons. You know how much money Serena out here making? Get back on that practice. And she's telling her and Mercedes have a conversation. And she says to her, she says, you know, you up here, we saw you acting a fool, fighting and getting arrested and stuff. You're not going to keep breaking my child's heart. And why she say that? Mercedes was like, your child? I pushed her out. That's my child. So she had to let Mercedes have. She said, yeah, but I have custody. And she said, you know, whatever his name was, let's say Ray Ray. You know, if Ray Ray was alive, the stepmother said, hold on. I think her name is Shell. Shell said, hold on. He's ashes to ashes and dust to dust. I burned his cheating tail up. Listen, he's in the urn. I run this. That's basically what she said. I run this, and you must realize I'm the one with custody of your child. And Mercedes was like, yeah, but I'm blood. Yeah, but Mercedes, she's taking care of your child, so apparently you didn't have your ish together. So she's telling you, get it together. You got to show that you can do this. And she was pleading with her, please, this is my daughter, please, and she said, I'm going to make it right. And I thought that was a great scene. I thought that was a really good scene. And I see this whole thing with Mercedes and Autumn bonding, as we see also in this episode, is they have something in common, and that is the loss of a child. The loss of a child. That's what they have in common, because we see when they're doing their little thing together, Autumn goes to use the bathroom in Mercedes' house, but she turns and she sees this room, and she walks in, and it's the room that's set up for Terica. And that touched me, because as a parent, you're preparing, you're doing things for your child, you want your child to have these things. So I felt that, how she had the room prepared for Terica, but Terica's not there. She doesn't have custody of her daughter. That was a touching scene for me, and very touching when Autumn was like looking around the room, and Mercedes came in there all tough at first, like, this ain't the bathroom, right? And then they had a conversation, and they looked like they were getting somewhere, and she asked, Autumn asked Mercedes what was her daughter's name. Then Mercedes asked her a question, and she said, oh, Autumn. And you can see she's like resisting, and she was about to, she said, well, you keep fighting, because at least you get the chance to get your child. So, and before it could get any deeper and more sentimental, Autumn kind of exited, so she didn't have to deal with that. But we see that little bond right there, and I'm liking that bond between those two. We have another bond going on too, and that is, well, this was funny. That Keyshawn, aka Mississippi, she caught Lil Murda and Uncle Clifford kissing, and so when she schedules to meet up with Little Murda's ready, like, listen, I don't know who you think you blackmailing, because yada, 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 but no, that's not the thing. Keyshawn is blowing all up. The video of her dancing to Little Murda's song apparently hit World Star, and it's trending. So she comes up with an idea. She's like, listen, your manager, I don't know what your manager's doing. Your social media page ain't popping. You ain't got enough views. Something ain't right here. What you need is to join forces with me. We could pretend to be this couple. Take a little Instagram pictures, because look how many views I got. You see this? She said, you see this? Look. Her head is gassed up, because she was shaking that booty, and getting all those views, and she's trending, so she's feeling herself. So she's like, listen, you need to team up with me. So they're gonna pretend to be this little hot couple. It's a whole marketing thing, and that will work. Like she said, you're going to be the hottest rapper. Guys are going to want to be you, but they're going to also want to see the chick you got. They're going to like, wow, she's trying to make them like, the it couple that's going to get this career popping. It works for her and it works for him. Now, here's where there might be some problems. She's getting her tail beat by her punk, abusive boyfriend, and her friends are saying to her and gidgeting them, they're saying this is not a good idea. And the reason why they're saying this is not a good idea is because you have an abusive man, and you think this is gonna sit well with you pretending to be in this relationship with this little Murda. Those abusive dudes are very possessive and jealous and stuff like that. So they have a point, but she's not trying to hear it. She's gassed up. She even goes to Uncle Clifford, and she's like, listen, we should do murder night. Let me headline, yada, yada, yada. I'm doing big and this and that. And at first he was like, slow your roll, partner. But then he was like, okay, maybe we could work with this. We could deal with this. Another thing we saw tonight, since we're on Uncle Clifford, we got to see a little bit of Uncle Clifford's home life and learn about the history of the Pink, because the Pink was owned by Uncle Clifford's grandmother, played by the lovely, talented, one of my favorite actresses. So she always eats up every scene she's in, Miss Loretta Devine. She played his grandma Ernestine, and she is in there playing her soul music, her old school Bobby Womack, her Ann Peebles. She's in there singing and dancing and smoking and carrying on and telling all these tall tales about how she outdanced James Brown and knew this one and that one, and she's giving the history of how the place used to be a brothel, and then it went to that, and then we learn about, you know, all the debt that they're in, and he's telling her how they're in debt and all this stuff, and he inherited this mess from her, and she said, listen, I didn't look well at the numbers, yeah, I made a mess, but you played a part in this too. And I like those scenes, because I'm telling you, everything Loretta Devine is in, I enjoy. Even if I don't enjoy the film or whatever she's in, when she comes on, it's something about her, something about her voice, something about the energy and the spirit she gives. She just always steals all her scenes, and I like that. So it was fun seeing her on there. And it was interesting because she's clearly very accepting and loving of her grandson, and they have a great, funny relationship. But Uncle Clifford's got to try to he has to try and save the Pink from going down. And we also saw Lil Murda come over, and he's spending quality time. These two are really, you know, they hitting it off. So we saw Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda hanging out. He's at Uncle Clifford's house meeting Grandma. I said, oh, this relationship getting serious. But what is this going to do to your dirty trap rap career? What's that going to do for that? Because, you know, the world ain't, you know, can hurt your image. But they're bonding, but Lil Murda's people are trying to get in touch with him, and he's looking because he's supposed to go in the studio. You know, he's hot right now. He need to be making something else hot, but he busy spending quality time with Uncle Clifford. Now, when his boys ask him where he was, you see him in Keyshawn fake the funk saying, oh, he was with me, he's busy, and then they do this whole kissing thing, and she also lets Uncle Clifford know that, you know, me and him got this partnership going, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Interesting partnership, I understand it, but I don't necessarily think that that's a good idea, especially with her having that issue with her boyfriend. Now let's move on down to Mr. Andre. Andre is trying to get this deal done with Corbin and his brother. His name is Corbin, right? Corbin and his brothers. And, you know, one brother, he wants to lease, and the other ones, they want to sell, get that big money up front, this, that, and the third. They pulling out guns, and they force homeboy to sign and do this agreement. So I'm like, oh, I guess it's signed and whatever. But then Andre goes and speaks to the big boss and convinces him, you know, maybe we should just pay them what they're worth and we should lease. And I was like, okay, but didn't they pull out the gun and, you know, you made him sign? So I'm like, it's going to be interesting seeing how they deal with that, because he did pull out, they did sign everything. So I thought, isn't that the deal? But I guess you can renege on the deal or whatever. So we'll see in the next episode how all of that plays out. But, oh, and then Andre calls his wife to tell her what happened. And she wasn't all too pleased, because he said, I saved the company some money, but then he was like, but I also, you know, I did a different deal than what we were supposed to do, and it might upset my godfather, who is the mayor. And she was like, why would you do that? And she mentioned some stuff, and she's like, you're supposed to do your job and then come back home because this is your home. And then he was like, no, this is my home. Chattanooga is my home. What do you mean? Like, he got a little offended, and then he wanted to get off the phone with her. And you know Andre got a little thing going on with Autumn. He wants to knock the boots with Autumn. Can you blame him? No, she is fine, but his wife is fine too. But he wants to, he has this little thing going on with her. They have a conversation, this whole lovey-dovey thing, and, you know, they have this conversation basically where she's telling him, you know, this is your home or whatever, but she's kind of like giving him, saying farewell or goodbye or whatever, and that's how it seems. But did y'all catch at the very end of the episode, that dude that was doing the fake IDs for them noticed the missing persons picture and noticed that that picture was Autumn. So now we got to see what's going to happen. before we close, that's right. I'm almost forgot this. What was her name? Was it Eloise? The woman who works in the mayor's office. We seen Uncle Clifford having a conversation with her and reminding her, we found out she used to rock that pole back in the day at the Pink before she got this respectable job with the mayor. And he was like, you need to give me some intel. You need to give me some information. You need to let me know what's going on. So she returns to the Pink to tell Uncle Clifford, and she lets Uncle Clifford know about, you know, the deals that's going on, and they got this whole plan, the casino, and they're going to build this and all this crookedness, and there is a way to stop it, but you got to bring awareness to it. And that's when Uncle Clifford goes to the jail, and he goes to see Patrice, Sister Patrice, saved and sanctified, and he bails her out because he's like, I need you to help me. And then we'll go back to what I was saying before I was getting to that. He says, I need you to help me. So he's trying to come up with a plan that could eventually stop this casino, stop all of this, and save the Pink. Now, like I said, that dude that was helping them with the fake IDs and everything, he noticed Autumn's picture. And he's like, she's missing. So Autumn is getting found out. We're getting closer and closer to that. And we're going to find out in the next episode, in episode 7. So it was a good episode. I liked it. I really did. I enjoyed. Great seeing Loretta Devine. Hopefully we'll see some more of her. I don't know about maybe in the rest of this season or maybe next season. Like I said, the show is only 8 episodes this first season. But hopefully when it comes back, they'll give us more episodes. But yeah, that's my thoughts for now. What do you guys think? What do you think? What did you think about this episode? I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying this show. I'm enjoying the characters and everything that's going on. But that's all I have. You know what you got to do for me, people. Leave comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. And I will see you all in the next video.